Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis and today I'm going to be sharing all of the thrifted books that I've accumulated over the past couple of years. I thought this would be a nice way to show all of the books that I have yet to read but I am exposed to, and for the sake of time I'm only going to be sharing briefly the name of the author, the title, maybe the genre, and if I know anything else about the story. But without further ado, let's get into the first set. The first few books I'll be going over are part of the fantasy genre. I will say I've yet to dive into any of these authors, but I've heard nothing but great things about this first one, and that is N.K. Jemisin. This is from the Broken Earth trilogy. First one is The Fifth Season, the next one, The Obelisk Gate, and the last one, The Stone Sky. I, again, have no idea what this book or trilogy is about, so I hope to get to these preferably before the end of the year, but I'm not too pressed about it because I do have a lot more historicals and contemporaries I want to tap into as well. So this is taking a back burner. Here I have Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials series. I did enjoy the Golden Compass movie, and I am familiar with the TV series, but I have yet to watch that. I do want to get through the books first. The series includes The Golden Compass, The Amber Spyglass, and The Subtle Knife. Next, I have The Candle and the Flame. This is by Nafiza Azad, and this is an ARC. I am surprised that I found this as well. This is a YA fantasy. I, again, don't know much about it, but from the synopsis on the back, it sounds pretty diverse, so I do want to read more diversely, not in terms of just genre, but culture as well. And yeah, so there you go. Next, I have American Born Chinese, and this is, it looks like a children's or middle grade graphic novel. This is by Jean Luen Yang. I believe I went over this as well for the Asian readathon that was the month before last, and I did not get a hold of this one at the time, so I do still plan on reading this. I'm hoping to get to it before the end of the year. If not, I will likely try to thrift this off as well. The next one I have is Little Fires Everywhere. If you are familiar with the Hulu series, I will be placing an image here. I really enjoyed that. It's only 8 episodes, and it does have a few actors you may be familiar with just by looking at the cast. But I did pick this up because of the show, and I did get in maybe 2 chapters, but it was very slow paced for me at the time. I'm going to give another shot at it, but if I don't like, it is what it is. But if I do end up liking, I will be potentially doing my review of this in comparison with the show, because I really enjoyed the show, which is only 8 episodes again, and if you have Hulu, definitely recommend. Next book I have is The Freedom Writer's Diary. This one also inspired a movie titled The Freedom Writers. I enjoyed that, so I did want to tap into the body of work that inspired it. Now, sitting next to me, I have all of my contemporary romances or fiction books that were thrifted or given to me secondhand. The first one is by Jodi Picoult, and that is The Pact. This is said to be a love story. It sounds like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, or loosely based on that. Again, I'm not sure. I've never read anything by this author, but we'll see when I get to this. Next, I have Sweet on You. I thrifted this. This is a Filipino romance taking place around Christmas time, and because of that, I did not read it during my Asian readathon a couple months ago. I do plan on getting to it around this year's Christmas, but you never know what will happen in the meantime, so hopefully I remember to keep this at the top of that stack. Next, I have a bunch of recent releases that I also found in my local thrift. They include The Love Con by Sarusia Glass here. Donut Fall in Love by Jackie Lau. Beach Read by Emily Henry. Dial A for Auntie, excuse me, that's the sticker. But this one I did not get to during Asian Readathon either. If the Shoe Fits sounds like contemporary Cinderella, and you may assume that from the cover as well, as I do. Verity by Colleen Hoover. Considering all the hype around her on TikTok or Book Talk, I've never read any of her books yet, and this one sounded the most up my alley. It sounds more like a suspense romance, so we'll see when I get to this. I'm hoping to do this by the end of the summer. And lastly, for a contemporary, I have Behind the Bars by Brittany C. Cherry. She publishes under by Brittany Cherry now, and it looks like this was supposed to be the first book of the Music Street series, but she hasn't posted anything following this book, and it's already been a while. I believe this one was printed in 2021, but the book itself, copyright 2017. So yeah, this one I'm not sure if she's planning on pursuing this series anymore, but hey, got a hold of it, and I've never read this author yet, despite having access on Hoopla to her other books, but we'll see. These are mostly historical romances and one fantasy. This one I have here, Courtney Milan's The Duke Who Didn't. I did DNF this last year. I got about a quarter in. I'm not sure if it's because of the writing style or was it the mood I was in at the time. I do plan on giving this another shot before dismissing it entirely, so we'll see when I get to this. I have A Touch of Stone and Snow. This is the second book in Mila Vane's A Gathering of Dragons series. I really enjoyed the first one. This one kind of holds a different weight to it. I will say this is more slow burn, but it is a friends to lovers, second chance romance. You do have to read the books in order to understand the world building. And I do still remember vivid moments from this book. So I wouldn't say that it's not at all forgettable. It's just for me, slow burns tend to not be my niche within reading. So I do plan on continuing this book. I did bookmark where I left off, so I'm about a little over halfway. And yeah, I plan on revisiting eventually. Next, I have here Stacy Reed's A Matter of Temptation. This one actually just came out, but I was lucky to find a secondhand copy on Pango Books. It was in new condition. It also includes the postcard, if I can hold it right, and the bookmark. So I was really lucky to find this copy. I technically already read the new story, but this does feature 2 for 1. So the book after A Matter of Temptation is The Duke's Shotgun Wedding. This is about this much left of the book. This one is A Matter of Temptation. So this is a 2 for 1. Really enjoyed it. I did read My Darling Duke by this author as well, along with the sequential books from that series. So I do recommend this author. Next, I'm going to go over the Bastion Club series. I have never read a book by this author, but the first one is Captain Jack's Woman. This is a pirate's romance. It's listed as 0 on Goodreads. The next one, The Lady Chosen, features a lovely step back. This is the Rake Appreciation Society book club pick. I will be placing the information here about the live show. It's scheduled towards the end of July with Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life and Jen from the Book Refuge. I will list their information down below as well if you do wish to participate. Perhaps we'll be able to converse in the chat. The next book, A Gentleman's Honor, also has a lovely step back. A Lady of His Own, A Fine Passion, To Distraction, Beyond Seduction, The Edge of Desire, and Mastered by Love. Now I'm going to share all of the books by Christine Fahan. I have yet to read this author, but because it's paranormal romance, I wanted to dive into that subgenre. So here I have Predatory Game, Murder Game, Street Game, Mind Game, Shadow Game, Lethal Game, Ruthless Game, Deadly Game, Samurai Game, and Dark Illusions. Of the books that I showed before this one by this author, they are related to a different series, whereas this one is from another series by her. Next, I have one of my favorite authors, and that is Beverly Jenkins. First one here, Something Like Love, Wild Sweet Love, Captured, Winds of the Storm, Nighthawk, Jewel, and lastly, Before the Dawn. Another author I really enjoy is Kerrigan Byrne, and a couple of books I got from her Good Girl series include Dancing with Danger. I did just start this, as well as Tempting Fate. The female main characters in these two books are supposed to be twins, so hence the similarity. Next two books are from another trilogy of hers, but I got these two used and then bought the third one new. That includes How to Love a Duke in 10 Days and The Devil in Her Bed. Next author I have is Joanna Lindsey. This is Gentle Rogue. I've yet to read anything by this author, but I've heard nothing but great things. I also have You Belong to Me. There's definitely Fabio inspiration with the step backs. Surrender My Love, Keeper of the Heart, and Love Me Forever. Next author I have here is Julia Quinn. This is Brighter Than the Sun. I did already read Splendid and the Bridgerton series by this author, so I saw this in the thrift store and I thought, why not, just to see what other books she has in her backlist. Clara's Promise by Shirley Hailstock. This is an autographed copy I was lucky to find as well. It is an African-American historical romance, and I was not aware of this author, but I am looking forward to trying hers out. Then I have Constance O'Day Flannery. This is her Timeless Passion. Looks like it's supposed to be a time travel romance. Then I have Velvet Chains by Constance O'Banion. This appears to be a pirate romance because I can see a pirate ship back there. Bliss by Lindsay Sands. When the Splendor Falls by Laurie McBain. Arizona Bride by Roseanne Bittner. Savannah Heat by Kat Martin. This also appears to be a pirate romance. Elizabeth Lau, Untamed. Terms of Love by Cheryl Henke. This is quite an extensive setback here. Angel Hunter by Anna Lee. Surrender the Stars by Cynthia Wright. Dream Fever by Catherine Sutcliffe. This is supposed to take place in New Zealand. Golden Fire by Kathy Jones. The Marriage Prize by Virginia Henley. Medieval romance. Seduced by Virginia Henley. Lara Kinsale, My Sweet Folly. Phoebe Kahn, Desire. Keeper of the Light. This is supposed to be, it looks like a 90s historical romance. I thought that was really sweet. And there's a lighthouse. Jennifer Blake, Wildest Dreams. This is perhaps my favorite step back so far. Joan Johnston, Maverick Heart. Joan Johnston, Captive. Cassie Edwards, Wild Desire. Cassie Edwards, Rolling Thunder. Some Amanda Quicks. Deception. Surrender. Dangerous. Rendezvous. Ravished by Amanda Quick. Orchids in Moonlight by Patricia Hagen. Heaven Knows by Elaine Kaufman. Elizabeth Boyle, Along Came a Duke. The Secret by Julie Garwood. His Favorite Mistress by Tracy Ann Warren. My Fair Mistress by Tracy Ann Warren. Only With Your Love by Lisa Kleypas. Suddenly You by Lisa Kleypas. Devil in Disguise by Lisa Kleypas. And When Strangers Marry by Lisa Kleypas. Wicked and the Wallflower by Sarah McLean. Sophie Jordan, Wicked in Your Arms. The Care and Taming of the Rogue by Suzanne Enoch. Loving a Lost Lord by Mary Jo Putney. Some Enchanted Evening by Christina Dodd. The Barefoot Princess by Christina Dodd. And My Fair Temptress by Christina Dodd. When You Give a Rogue a Rebel by Jane Ashford. Anna Harrington, An Extraordinary Lord. And lastly, A Reckless Match by Kate Bateman. I'm hoping to get to this before the end of the summer. And that concludes all of the books that I've obtained over the past couple of years and have yet to read. As always, like this video, subscribe, and until next time, my name's Alexis. Happy reading.